Hello everybody, this is a Facit 1145, a Swedish typewriter. Should be around 1967. It's a normal calculator, but it has a mascot with an interesting story. We will see later. The Facit company was a producer of mechanical typewriters based in Åtvidaberg in Sweden, having bit success in the 1950s and 1960 years. It's interesting to know that in the stadium in Åtvidaberg played also Pelé, one of the greatest football players of all times. In 1966, the Brazilian national soccer team with Pelé had been invited by the CEO of Facit, Gunnar Eriksson. They came here prior to the World Championship in England to relax and train. At those times, mechanical calculators were at their peak, and Facit produced many of these with good sales and good quality. But it was the dawn of the electronic calculators. So at the beginning of the 1970s, they started to have many problems, and quite soon they disappeared from the market. This is an old Facit spare part catalogs from 1940. It's an update from a former edition of 1939. The most interesting part about this calculator is that in the 1950s Facit introduced a mascot. This man with a very high withered cap called Facit Man. It's not a particularly imaginative name, but at those times it was a quite new marketing idea. It first appeared in the instruction manuals for Facit's calculators, and it lasted till 1970s. Facit wanted to make office work less heavy, and since reading manuals also now is not considered so fun, adding a cute design can help you to become acquainted with the argument. Also Windows did the same. Do you remember Clippy, the word assistant? Facit did it 40 years before. It was invented by the Facit brand manager Ivan Hammar in 1958 to differentiate Facit from the competition. He had the idea that Facit should have a human mascot. Hammar met a great resistance when introducing the Facit wizard. In these years, marketing was much more serious than today. But he believed in his idea, and he started to introduce this mascot in advertisement material, instruction manuals, and so on. It seems he was right, because in the middle of 1970s, $1 million with the Facit Man had been produced. Could be the Facit little man would not be so successful in our days. But manuals of those times could be not so easy to read, and an attempt to ease the difficulty of reading was certainly welcome. And here it is, our Facit 1145. It's an electromechanical calculator. It means the calculations are made with electronic circuits, and there is a printer to print the results of the calculation. You see the inside? There are circuits, transistor, resistances, a classic electronic board. Do you see also the switches on the buttons? The keyboard is very simple. You can do the basic operations. With this button you feed the paper. There is no display, so you need to print on the paper roll. So that's all with this calculator. In those years, Facit made other calculators 1960 style like this, different from the heavy black design very common in the past. A wizard assistant and more colorful design, it's a good idea to make the product more attractive. Thanks for watching.